What is going on, Niner fans? I know. You guys already know all the news, the breaking news. It's not breaking anymore, but I was busy today. But we got all the news posted, but we're here finally live to talk about it. You know what we're talking about. The 49ers traded for Brian Robinson Jr. today. Come on, man. What a day. Good stuff. I mean, it was a fantastic day. The 49ers, listen. A couple things because the last week, the 49ers tried to trade for the Houston Texans receiver. And, a lot of people were saying, why are you posting this? This doesn't matter. The Niners, who cares? They tried to do their due diligence. John Mechie the third. I remember this was a couple of days ago, about 5 days ago on, I believe, Sunday. I remember we posted that. Jordan Schultz broke this news. And people are like, why are you posting it, Raul? Why are you posting it? And I said, it's important because it's showing the Niners are trying to get players. They're trying to actively bolster their roster. They know they have injuries. They're depleted. And boom, a couple days later, they made a trade for Sky Moore. And today, they made a trade, obviously, for big Brian Robinson. Breaking news this morning. It was crazy. I mean, the Niners are trying to help their roster. I know a lot of people are upset about the injuries, but they're actively trying to fix their roster. They got Brian Robinson Jr. For a 2026 sixth-round pick, man. This is amazing. It was a fantastic trade, in my opinion. You get a really good running back who – he's not just like some run-of-the-mill type running back. This guy's actually good. You save money. Last year, he had 958 yards. He had 68.5 yards per game, 8 touchdowns on 207 touches. This is a guy that can spell CMC very well. Like, you can take pressure off of Christian McCaffrey. You don't need to run him to the ground. Isaac Guerendo, that man is fragile. He gets hurt checking the mail, going to the fridge. Like, I love Isaac Guerendo. He's a little injury prone. Corey Kiner, he's injured. Jordan James, he's injured, right? So they needed a guy that's durable, bulldozer. I love the pick. Thunder and Lightning, the 49ers can do a little bit of a, kind of like the Detroit Lions. They have the 2 back sets, a quick guy, a rumbler. I like it. I think it's great. The Niners needed running backs, needed depth. I like the Sky Moore move. And they only gave up a 6th-round pick. It's not like they're giving away a 1st-round, 2nd-round pick. 6th-round pick, yeah, okay. I know the Niners are good at late-round picks, but they needed depth. Brian Robinson, he was on a crowded backfield with Washington. And John Lynch hit up his plug, Adam Peters, and he gave him what he needed to give him. We gave him Debo, and we get Brian Robinson. I know we traded Jordan Mason this year, but the other thing about this move is a lot of people are saying they should have kept Jordan Mason. Yes, of course. I love Jordan Mason, but he was set to make $5.25 million. The 49ers are going to give him a $2.156 million deal, and the Washington Commanders are retaining part of his $3.4 million salary. Like, they're paying a part of his salary at the end of the day. So the 49ers, they don't have to pay the full, amount of the contract. The Commanders are paying part of it. Jordan Mason's making $5 million. They get a good running back for cheaper than Jordan Mason. And Jordan Mason, you turned him into Marquise Siegel. Like, this is a dub all around. I think the 49ers did a good job. And again, this is a move that helps them get depth. They needed it, man. Before this move, the Niners running back department was very shaky. So good stuff. And you know what's even crazier is the 49ers now have 2 This is like the crazy. I know a lot of memes were out there. A lot of people were, posting the many man videos, but this is actually crazy news. The fact that the 49ers now have 2 players that got shot in their rookie season and came back. It's actually, what are the odds of that? Because Brian Robinson, he got shot on a robbery, burglary, and he came back in his rookie season. Last year, Ricky Pearsall, he got shot in his rookie season. He came back, he battled back, and it's just crazy, man. Like, those 2 guys have to come out in the tunnel together week 1 to many, man. Like, it just has to happen. It has to happen. There has to be the moment where you have Brian Robinson and Ricky Pearsall come out in the tunnel together. Like, it's great, man. I think it's hell of a story, and I'm happy, man. Brian Robinson, CMC, Isaac Guerendo, if they're healthy, it's going to be great. And again, how many times has Christian McCaffrey had an injury scare? Isaac Guerendo, so it was good. It was good. Like, look at this. So Schefter posted earlier. 49ers running back room has been banged up. Isaac Guerendo, Jordan James, Corey Kiner, and others all have missed time. Christian McCaffrey, who only played 4 games last year, has actually been the healthiest running back. Brian Robinson joins the group in a trade between John Lynch and Adam Peters, who worked together in San Francisco from 2017 to 2023. Shout out to Adam Peters, man. To the rescue. I like the move, man. What's good? Welcome to the 49ers. Brian Robinson Jr. says, California man. Carl Thomas says he's better than Guerrero. I like him better than Guerrero. I like Guerrero, but he's not a pure running back. He's not going to be a running back too. We talked about this the other night with Larry Krueger. We literally said, if they can get Brian Robinson Jr., do it. Do it. We said it. Me and Larry Krueger said it. Go do it. And they did the damn thing. I love it, man. Let's see. Big Brick says, after spending all the time and effort replenishing the roster due to injuries this year, maybe they'll spend more time and energy preventing injuries next year. Yeah, we got to stop injuries. That definitely is a good take. We need to prevent injuries. But, hey, at least at the end of the day, the 49ers are showing us and telling us they're going to make the moves if they have to. Like, they're not just going to sit there and do nothing. That's what people have been saying. Like, oh, Niners aren't doing anything, blah, blah, blah. They're attempting, man. They're trying their damn best to go out there and fix this roster. I'm happy with the Brian Robinson. The guy's a good running back. They got him for a 6th-round pick. I'm happy. It's basically you traded away Debo. You get back Brian Robinson. You give them a 5th. We get a 6th. I'm happy. It's good stuff. So Grindo been racking up the injuries. That's what he's been doing. I think it's a steal. Nah, man, that'll be cringe. Let's just win games, says Nav. I know it's a little cringe. Ricky Pearsall and Brian Robinson, but you got to do it for the culture. You know it, bro. There's people out there already. They got nicknames. Somebody said the Gatling brothers. Someone said the Bullet Bros. Somebody said Bang Bang Niner Gang has a new meaning to it. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. Like some of the stuff people are saying, but overall for the 49ers and their running back depth, it was a big W. To me, it was a big W. You give up nothing for a guy that wanted out of the Commanders. They have a good running back, committee. They have a lot of running backs, and they're not committed to Brian Robinson. He's a formidable player. Played in Alabama. The guy's a dog, man. Tough guy. 8 touchdowns last year. He's a good goal line guy. There was another stat I saw. I think Nick Wagner posted this one. This was a fantastic stat. Let me pull this stat up. Nick Wagner came up with a really good stat. So, okay, one area new running back, Brian Robinson, can help the 49ers. Short yardage. In 2024, Robinson was 3rd in the league on 3rd or 4th down and 3 or fewer yards. He had 7.8 yards per carry on 3rd or 4th down. That's pretty good. He was 3rd in the league on a short yardage situation, right? So if it was 3 yards or fewer, he's going to get you the first down. He's going to get you about 8 yards. He's going to double that, right? In 2024, last year, the 49ers were 18th in the league in those same situations, averaging 3.2 yards an attempt, right? 3.2 yards. So if they needed 3, they would barely get the 3. They might not get the 3. They might not get it. How many times did they fail a 3rd down because of short yardage? Now you got Brian Robinson, and he's going to nail that first down, move the chains. And you know what? In red zone, if they're like 3rd and short, 1st and short, 2nd and short, and they just need to plunge it into the end zone, this guy can do it. Huge. Red zone, 1 yard line, 3rd down, short yardage. I absolutely love that stat. To me, that is a huge, huge improvement for the 49ers. They could not get a short yardage touchdown. They could not get a short yardage conversion if their life depended on it. I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh my God, 3rd and short. They're going to miss. They're going to have to punt it. They're going to have to go for a 4th or not get it. It was rough. So this is an area Brian Robinson can help them. So Ian Sharp says Robinson had 2,900 yards in 3 seasons. Good stuff, man. Big Brick says we were just waiting for the opportune moment. Yeah, I think everybody is just always like on edge. Oh, the Niners aren't going to do it. It takes time. Got to do due diligence. You got to make it. It's not just going to happen overnight. John Lynch, yesterday, I saw a video. I think it was on 957 The Game. He had his phone out during training. He had his phone out during practice. Bro was busy. He was working the phones. My man was working the phones, making trades. And then what happened? Bang! Sky Moore. Bang! Brian Robinson Jr. John Lynch, man, he cooking. He cooking. Nav, am I watching preseason? Yeah, it's on the TV over there. Chelsea says Washington was number 2 in run blocking last year. That ain't us. Okay. I get it. The O-line is pretty amazing. It's a different. You still got to put some context to it. So yes, they have good run blocking, but at the end of the day, it still is an upgrade for the 49ers. But you're right. O-line definitely needs to be an area of improvement. And I think the Niners are showing that they're trying to improve in every area, but it's just slow. Next year we'll see what happens with the draft, but they have who they have at offensive line. Wasn't a lot of big names on the market this year. They lost a lot of guys, through free agency over the years, especially like Aaron Banks was a guy. I liked him, but hey, he was getting a lot of money. Jalen Moore, he was serviceable last year, more than serviceable. A lot of money to start with the Chiefs. So they lost some guys. Definitely looks like O-line's an issue for them, but I think they'll be okay. At least it'll probably be the same O-line as last year. I just think the left guard is a position where I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Is Ben Bartch going to be able to stay healthy? That man is going to get hurt at some point in the season. Connor Colby, can he take that leap and be the starter if Ben Bartch goes down? Nick Zakelj, he's been on this roster for a couple of years now. He just hasn't shown me anything, but he's got to make a leap at some point. I do think another issue, Jake Brendel, but those are two areas they got to really improve. Next year, they really got to hit on a guard if Connor Colby doesn't hit this year, but and also a center. So see how it goes. Nav says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about the defense this year. It's going to be lit. We've talked about that a lot over the last couple of weeks. Defense is going to be massively improved. The defense has Robert Saleh. We already know he's better than Nick Sorensen. We've seen some different things with him, with the stunts and the blitzes. It's going to be great. But I think the offense is going to be better than people think now that you got Brian Robinson. I was happy about that. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I was literally with the patient today. I was like, I got to fucking go. I got to post this up. Bang! Breaking news. I couldn't believe it. For 6th-round pick, Brian B-Rob, that's a good player to get for a 6th-round pick. I think so. California Man says he should fit into Kyle Shanahan's scheme. Absolutely. Carl Thomas says, how do I feel about Trey Lance playing against us tomorrow? I'm happy to see Trey. I hope he improves himself. I hope he gets, a shot to start one day with a team. I mean, obviously, Chargers got Herbert. He's great. But I hope that this really propels his career with Jim Harbaugh. And he's looked good in the preseason. I mean, he's not looked elite, but it's preseason. But I'm happy, and I really want to see him start and do well against us. Yes, I hope he throws a tutty. I hope, it's going to be cool to see Trey Lance tomorrow, man. I'm going to be at the game, and I know he's going to come out. We're going to get a hug between him and Kittle and all that stuff and some of the other players. Trent Williams. I remember a couple of years back when I went to the Niners Dallas game, and I got a lot of content. Just Trey Lance was, meeting all the old players, his former teammates, and it's cool. Those videos went pretty viral, so I'm sure we'll get the same content tomorrow, and it'll be exciting to see Trey Lance tomorrow with 49ers, again, Levi Stadium. I'm rooting for the kid. I never had an ill will against him. Didn't work out. He definitely was unpolished, but I have nothing but I wish nothing but the best for him. That's it. Baby Radiant says, I hope Upton Stout is ready week 1. Kyle said he should be ready. There's no issues there. So definitely think that he will be ready. Big Brick says the offense will be a little weak to start. We'll get stronger as the year goes on. Yeah, you have faith in Purdy to keep the ball moving and get points on the board week 1. Yeah, offense definitely going to be a little weak. We don't know what the wide receivers are going to look like. Jennings, right? He's dealing with the calf. Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing. How's Sky Moore going to fit into this system? We got Kittle and Pearsall and CMC. Now Brian Robinson, that's great. But, how healthy is Jennings going to be? We're not going to have Demarcus Robinson because of the suspension, and BA is not going to be there for a couple weeks. But as soon as people get back, it'll be good. And that's what John Lynch said yesterday. He says, I think we'll have a formidable wide receiver core week 1. I know a lot of people don't believe it, but, if you think about it, Pearsall, if Jennings is healthy, George Kittle, CMC, it should be good. And as the weeks go, they're going to add people, Watkins and BA and et cetera, Demarcus Robinson. So as the weeks go on, they should be okay. And I definitely think, having a guy like Brian Robinson onto the roster is going to help, take a lot of pressure off of my boy Christian McCaffrey. That's huge. That's what the 49ers need. They need a running back to take pressure off of Christian McCaffrey, to give him good rest, to give him good spells, because you can have a bunch of running backs, but if they're not worth a blood nickel, if they can't get the ball up and run for 5, 6, 7 yards a pop, then it's going to be like pressure on you. Like, oh my God, we can't run the ball when Christian McCaffrey's out, because that was an issue last year. Okay, Christian McCaffrey wasn't there, and you're cooked. Your offense wasn't moving. Jordan Mason played really good. I loved him, and then he, got a little banged up, and then Isaac Grando came in and he was banged up. And at that point, you were done. So you need a guy that's durable, that could come in. He can tote the rock and he's not going to, fumble it. That's the other issue with Grando. Sometimes he coughed the ball up. Jordan Mason, he had a little bit of fumbleitis too. I love those two guys. They're great, but, you got to be able to be dependable, reliable, and you got to be durable. So that's something that Brian Robinson hopefully can bring to the table and, really give CMC quality minutes of rest on the bench. So Nav says, whatever happened to Surratt, the little linebacker from the Jets? He's still on the roster. He's on a roster bubble. I don't think he makes the 53. He'll probably be practice squad, but Chaz Surratt is on the Niners roster. Man. But yeah, overall, I'm happy. What do you guys think about the trade? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Again, I thought it was good. I saw some crazy takes out there. Some people said it was a panic move. The Niners needed depth. Their depth was not depthing. They needed a running back. Again, I thought it was a solid move at this point in the season, man. You get the best available. And I think Brian Robinson is definitely a very good player available. And it helps them. It gives them a big, big boost in a position that they were having a lot of issues with injuries. So, yeah, love the trade, says Carl. Good moves, is big. He also says James didn't fumble in college, but a little worried he might now with the broken finger. Yeah, how's he going to be able to? That's the thing. Can he hold on to that ball? Is he going to be tender? Is he going to be guarded when he holds the ball with that finger? I think he'll be good. He's a tough guy, but Jordan James was looking really good in training camp. I'm excited for him to come back for sure. If we can get one more wide receiver, that'll be nice. Terry, I don't know if maybe we could do some more business with Adam Peters. Big City Man says, if we give CMC 30 touches a game, I'm going to be pissed. Playoffs fine, but week 3, no. I agree. You can't give CMC too many carries. You need to make sure he's healthy to get to the end. That's the whole point of getting a guy like Brian Robinson, absorbing some of those carries for Christian McCaffrey. Low risk move, absolutely. Baby Radiant says, I saw a guy tweet, the Niners are making panic moves. Yeah, that's what I brought that up. Dieter, he works for KNBR. He's, one of the media heads. Let me pull up the tweet because let me pull up this shit. This was crazy. Dieter. Let me see. Dieter Kurtenbach. He's a sports columnist. He works for the San Jose Mercury News and KNBR. Dieter, this is what he says. He says, the Niners are out here on panic buying after realizing a couple of their guys, their young guys. He says, the Niners are out here panic buying after a couple of their young guys, Bergeron and Grando, can't hold water. He says, less than ideal. He says, at the same time, better than standing pat and hoping a bad situation works out. He says, we're panic buying? We traded a 6th and a 7th round pick, my guy. We're trading a 6th and a 7th round pick for players that come in for depth. What are we talking about? Panic buying. What are we talking about? Some people, I don't get it, man. And I commented, I kind of ratioed him a little bit. I actually ratioed his tweet. It says, panic buying, trading away a 6th and a 7th round pick. LOL. Okay, whatever you say. What are we talking about, Dieter? What are we talking about? My man AJ says that dude is clout chasing. Something like that. He's ridiculous, dude. What are we even talking about? Panic buying? Bro, we traded 6th and 7th round picks. I'm sure we're going to get those back. Do you know how many comp picks the 49ers can get next year? Probably 4. Hello, the 49ers get comp picks back. That's the other thing. Listen, man. The 49ers are going to get the max amount of comp picks back next season. Most likely, if everything pans out, they're going to get like 4 comp picks, man. Like, this is the thing. The 49ers, they got Brian Robinson Jr. They got Marquis Siegel from the Jordan Mason trade. They got Jordan James from the Deebo Samuel trade. Okay, he just needs to get healthy, but he looks good. They got Sky Moore. They ended up getting Bryce Huff this offseason. They traded away a 6th round pick in 2026 and a 7th round pick in 2027. They got a 6th round pick and a 7th round pick in 2026 and 2027. Traded away Deebo, Mason, the 5th round pick in 2025, right? So they can get Jordan Mason. This is what the 49ers sent away. So at the end of the day, it's not like they gave away the world, and they will receive at least 4 compensatory picks next year. So Yeah, we lost a couple of picks, but the Niners get those compensatory picks back every single year. Do you think the Niners are worried about trading away a 6th and 7th round pick? They're going to get them back. They're going to get them back. They're going to get them back. And then Big Prick says, not only did we trade a pick, but Washington ate most of his contract. Hello. Washington's paying for most of his contract. We're going to get a pick back anyways through the compensatory pick formula because the Niners know how to, shark the draft. This was a dub all around. What? It's all crazy, dude. I like Dieter, but he has some S-take sometimes, says Charlie. What's up, Big Charlie? Yeah, he sometimes does. But at the end of the day, look, you didn't really trade away much because you're going to get that. You're going to get a pick back, compensatory pick. Because the Niners every year, how many times do we sit here in the offseason and say, oh, what a dub. I can't believe they got this many draft picks. They're going to have 11 or 12 draft picks again because they're going to get all those compensatory picks. And Washington's taking some of the contract. You get a guy that could probably start on a lot of teams, if we're being honest, and he's going to take away a lot of pressure off of CMC. It's going to help him stay healthy because what do we need CMC to do? Stay healthy. I thought it was a good move. Good stuff, man. End of the day, there's no way you hate on this trade, but people find a way because they're crazy. I just can't find a way of hating on this trade. Like, I was genuinely hyped up today. I know I just came home and could talk about it now, but oh my God, I could not wait to come live and just be so excited about this trade. Like, this is genuinely a amazing trade for the 49ers. What's good, man? Yeah, same. I like Dieter, but he's a very glass half empty kind of guy. Yeah, he really is, Leon. He's just glass half empty. Like, some of his take, I like the guy. I don't hate him, but that was a bad take. Flood, my man Flood says, as a fan, I think this is an encouraging move. I feel like the top of the organization feels confident about the team, at least making the play. Yeah, I think they do. Like, I know a lot of Niner fans don't, but I mean, again, I'm on the fence. 10 wins that might be able to get them in there. But I do think the team is very confident. They're hungry. They still have some superstars. CMC, Kittle, Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Deommodore Lenoir. Like, they have some really good players. You got a lot of young guys that are unproven. We don't know. But if those young guys can take that leap and we can stay healthy, man, and players like Ricky Pearsall take that leap, I think they're going to be okay. But the other key is getting players like Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk and Malik Mustafa and Demarcus Robinson. A lot of those guys, they got to get back, be healthy. Obviously, Robinson's healthy. He's just going to be suspended. But he needs to pick up where he left off in training camp, right? 3 weeks off, maybe a little shaky, a little rusty a little bit off the first week, but hopefully not. So they need to make sure the guys, when they come back, they're ready to go. We also have to avoid injuries. That's going to be the key. Right now, it's not happening. So, you got to cross your fingers, cross your toes that they can stay healthy. And a guy like Dominic Puni, you need to make sure he comes back and he's ready to rip it up because he was a big part of this offensive line, and he looks like he's going to be Pro Bowl type player. We need Dominic Puni healthy. O-line's a big part of this team, especially with the Brian Robinson trade, right? Running back, you need a massive O-line to help, pave the way. As long as Trent Williams is good, I think we'll be able to run effectively, right? You got the good blocking tight ends as well. So I think Niners will be okay as long as Trent Williams stays healthy. But I know he's a little older, and it's a concern. But if Trent Williams stays healthy, this offensive line is going to be fine. So. Nathan says, hey there, saw the big news, and I am pumped. Me too, man. Nab says, what's the news on Michael? He's still dealing with the hyperextended knee. Hopefully he's back next week. We'll get some updates over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. Well, sorry, not next week, but the following week. The Niners will they get 2 weeks off before the season starts, really. So that's a really good window for a lot of these guys to recover. I think Michael will be okay. CJ West, Upton Stout, but we'll get some updates in the next couple of days as the team starts making their roster, as Kyle Shanahan addresses the media, things of that nature. But we don't have an actual update on Michael Williams at the moment. So Flood says, what's the news with Upton Stout? Same thing. He should be back soon, is what Kyle Shanahan said. And he says he's not really in jeopardy of missing week 1. So I think that Upton Stout is doing okay. He should be back. I think the Niners are just being very precautionary with some of these, minor injuries to these guys, and they should be ready to roll for week 1. But yeah, Upton Stout, Kyle did mention he should be back very soon. So any chance that he plays tomorrow? I don't think you're going to see Stout. I don't think you're going to see Michael Williams. I don't think you're going to see many of the, premier players, starters, and stars. I think tomorrow really is focused for the backups, the reserves. and players on the roster bubble trying to make that final roster spot. Jacob Robinson, Darrell Luter, who's going to make that final, cornerback spot? Who's going to make that final wide receiver spot, right? Is Robbie Chosen going to make the 53? Is he going to be chosen on the final roster? Find out tomorrow on the next episode of Pokemon. It's really like Pokemon, like George Kittle said, right? But no, honestly, tomorrow's just going to be all the backups, the reserves. They're fighting for a spot on this team, man. Really, that's really what it comes down to. Last preseason game, a lot of position battles, man. It's going to be good stuff. Brian Robinson. Any chance Brian Robinson plays tomorrow for Salvador? I don't think he's going to play. He barely flew down. I don't even know if he's in the Bay yet. He had to do a physical, right? So I don't think there's any chance Brian Robinson plays. They said Sky Moore might play tomorrow, and he was in the Bay yesterday. He passed his physical. He's on the team. Maybe Sky Moore plays, but I don't think Brian Robinson. B-Rob won't be playing tomorrow. If he does, I'll be so surprised. But 49ers should be okay in terms of, week one. I think we'll get a lot of guys back. That's what John Lynch hinted towards. But overall, I'm excited. I know it's preseason, but I'll be there. Exciting times. Go watch Trey Lance and, hope the Niners win. But if they don't win, it's preseason. It is what it is. We got to make sure everybody stays healthy. That's the key. Make sure we don't get any more injuries. We don't want any more injuries, man. I hope they get through this game tomorrow without a single injury, man. Big Brick says, just curious to see what kind of roster gymnastics they pull to get that right 53. Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing, right? You don't want to cut the wrong guys because they can get claimed. And if you're like, damn, we want to get this guy back in the practice squad, it's going to be interesting. They got some injuries, right? PUP is going to be there. But if you know guys on the PUP, they have to miss a certain amount of weeks. It's going to be very interesting once they start cutting players. I want a guy like Jacob Robinson on this 53-man roster. If they cut him to hope he comes back on the practice squad, I don't think he makes it. So there's going to be a lot of big decisions, and it's going to be exciting. But tomorrow is going to really dictate a lot of what you see, because sometimes I feel like there's a lot of recency bias when they're creating that roster because things are just fresh in their mind. Although I know the coaches, they scour the film, they look at everything, they try to make the best decisions. But I do think that most recent game sticks out in their mind. Like if you made a big play, oh shit, yeah, remember that play you made yesterday? Oh, because they got to do roster cuts literally the next day. So, yeah, we'll see. Does 49ers get a comp pick if Robinson leaves next year? I think I want to say they do. I know let me see. 49ers comp pick. Thought I saw. Pretty sure they do. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So they will potentially gain a compensatory pick if Robinson walks in free agency. So they potentially will get a compensatory pick. So that's what I'm saying. Like the Niners are going to get comp picks from a lot of players, that leave. And they get comp picks every single year. So that's why when people say, oh, my God, they gave up like that guy Dieter, when he was saying they give up a 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick, why are people giving up picks? Niners are going to get those picks back. They literally do it every single year. Like, don't worry. Niners know how to get their return on draft picks. So they do. Yeah, Salvador says they do. Appreciate it. Bring on Charbonnet tomorrow. It's going to be an ugly offensive game with Bradley and Mordecai. Oh, man, I know. Last time Bradley and Mordecai played, I had a migraine watching that. Hopefully they play a little better. They played better against the Raiders, so we'll see what happens. AJ says, I forgot his name, but number 55, do you think he makes the 53-man roster? Is that Sebastian Valdez, Seabass, number 55? I think he will. If they cut him, I'm going to be sad, and I think he'll get claimed. So I do think Sebastian Valdez, Seabass, double nickel, will make the 53-man roster. Yeah, I hope he makes that roster too. He's been so good in training camp and in the games. Definitely needs to make the roster. It'll be a shame if he doesn't make it. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Brian Robinson to the Bay, hyped up. I'm excited. Niners are making moves, man. At the end of the day, it's exciting. You love your team. You love the 49ers. Let's cheer for these guys. Let's hope that they pan out, right? I'm excited. It was good. It was very exciting. I was like, okay, the Ricky Pearsall and the Brian Robinson news, the memes. I know it's not for everybody. It was a little cringy, but hey, it was, to me, it was pretty funny. But anyways, Niners, Brian Robinson tomorrow, Chargers. I'll probably be live a little later on Instagram, but You guys have a good rest of your night. Love you. Go Niners!